I believe that comedy is the highest art form. It beats all the arts, surpasses all of them, overtakes them, and it's a very smart and very sophisticated science and performance. Now, there are times when you don't want to really think and come up with formal, organized ideas. And I think comedy is the ideal for doing that because you only have to have a rough idea. To me, it's like writing a book, as I'm also a creative writer. And there is no structure, there is no organization. So it tends towards chaos. But that chaos is very entertaining, it's very exciting because it takes you out of your normal thinking into areas of life that you've never thought about. And it is an opportunity for allowing yourself to be influenced, to have ideas coming from all sorts of directions to come and impact on you and touch you and probe your soul and bring up things that you under normal circumstances will never think about. Like I was listening to a morning program and they were talking about some whites taking their pets on holiday. So there is a certain amount of discomfort that maybe if you leave your pet behind, it will be ill-treated. And these good whites, they are so possessive. They love their animals so much. They're so much passionate about their pets that even when they go on holiday, they decide, no, I must take this dog and this cat. And they are even hotels that have been developed to cater for these animals, for these pets. So you can let Africa suffer. You can sit and watch on your television and see Africans hit by poverty, by frustrations, genocides, as long as you take care of your pet and make sure that your pet is well taken care of. Well, that's how they want to think. And let's let them think like that. Maybe when one day I also become a white, I'll behave like that. In fact, I'm a white. In my village, they call me Lekhoa. You know, when you reach a certain status, socially, economically, intellectually, educationally, then you are a Lekhoa. Like if you speak English, and you can see all these villagers making an effort to also to speak in English. Now, I used to regard myself as a madman, and until somebody said, no, you should not think that you are mad because you are not mad. But I said, how do I do comedy? How do you do comedy if you restrict yourself and you operate within boundaries, but you have to push the boundaries of reasonableness. You have to have a certain degree of being unreasonable, being irrational, because that is where comedy comes from. As long as you think that everything is smooth and organized, you can't touch those areas of life that are fascinating, that are interesting. Now, what is comedy? Comedy is something that makes you to laugh and sometimes cry. You take the pain and convert it to pleasure. And there are many activities in life where you have to go through this pain before. Like the pain of unemployment, the pain of rejection, all these traumatic, catastrophic experiences that you go through, sometimes these you can convert them into something exciting. I've been unemployed, I've lost my job several times, and I reach a state where I was moving towards depression. And thanks for comedy. Comedy helped me out of this depression. See, like my facial expressions, they're not like, I don't like standing there and holding a regular organized face. Why should I do that? Because I've met a lot of some of my colleagues who are mad and they talk anyhow. I don't know why the face will twist. But sometimes they think that now they can express themselves better. That's why. Now, in a normal job, some of the jobs that I used to do, they demanded that, like for instance, teaching. I can't teach like this, but I can do comedy like this. I have the liberty and I have the freedom. That is why I started by saying comedy is the most liberating, the most sophisticated, the most powerful art forms. And in terms of expression, I'm a journalist. I've been writing articles, but you know what? You continue writing articles and you do your probing journalism, investigative journalism, and you are going to step on somebody's toes. How can a journalist, how can a madman or somebody that cannot be confined and categorized and analyzed, how can that person step on your feet? And why should your toes be so long that they should come on my way? As a comedian, I don't know where your feet are. I don't know where your toes are. I don't care where your toes are. Hard luck if I step on those toes. That's comedy. That's comedy. And I'm happy that comedy discovered me, because how can a normal person go out to say he wants to do comedy? How? How dare? Out of all they are very decent acting jobs. I'm also an actor, but I find that acting is very restrictive, because the director will be telling you, do this, you must not express yourself like this, you must not talk like this, and you must do this, you must do that. No. But in comedy, anything that goes, and anything that comes. What goes comes, and what comes goes. That is comedy. There is this beauty. There is this, you're there and your audience is trying to follow you and trying to make sense. And at the same time, they realize that they've got a lot of nonsensical thinking on their part, because if they can't make sense of nonsense and try to make nonsense out of sense, that is comedy. Comedy is sense that has been made nonsense, and nonsense that has been made comedy, or nonsense that had been made sense. So there's this relationship between sense and nonsense. If there is sense, there should be nonsense, and where there is nonsense, there should be sense. It's like dark and white. That is why we have black men and white men. You see, can you imagine this world without black men? Can you imagine a country without white men? I went to Nigeria, and there are hardly any white people. No wonder the Nigerians behave like that. They don't care about a white person. They don't recognize a white person. They think a white person is just like a newspaper because he's white. So you can use a white paper in any way. Yeah, our grandfather used to provide Sunday Times newspaper for us every Sunday. But when I grew up, I only knew that the newspaper is only used for the toilet. I hope the Nigerians don't have that mentality or that attitude towards white people, that they can just use them anyhow. And the Nigerian conmen, the way they will target the white, they say, these whites think they're smart, and we're going to show them that these whites are stupid. And use them and abuse them and then throw them. Colonialism and apartheid took root in South Africa because the whites there were very, very arrogant. They thought that they were very special. What is special about being white? Can anybody tell me, is there anything special or unique about being white? Most of that, I am also white, as I've explained to you. There's nothing. It's just that if I have got a little bit more money and I'm able to afford those creams, that is why our black people are on a big campaign in the past to add creams on their faces so that they look white.